Hey YouTube, Scott Schaefer. You're watching A Theory of Nothing. I am here with my lovely wife, Ruth Ann.
Hello.
And we are trying to make this video for now the third time. So last time I didn't have enough space freed up on my phone, so I kept rushing Ruth Ann along and wasn't fair to her. Plus it cut off the video really short. Would have been a pain in the ass to splice it. So we're gonna just, third time's a charm is what they say. I told you guys before, and I mentioned it to Jay Chris on his channel the other day when him and I were chatting, that I had a really, really weird Mandela effect that just occurred last Wednesday night with one of our dogs. And as funky as it sounds, it has to do with shit. That's right, you hear her laughing in the background, because we almost have to laugh about it, because, you know, you always hear things and stories about manifesting your destiny and manifesting things into existence and stuff like that. And we've even had that happen with us with a tent when we were wanting to go camping. She was really wanting to go. My only hang up was that we needed a tent. I didn't want to spend the extra money. She walks out into the garage, finds a damn tent. Okay, so we go, oh yeah, things manifest, that's awesome. Well, last Wednesday was a little unique. So I'm gonna let her explain what happened. But in essence, what we did is we came home from the vet. We had the dog updated on his shots. We went and run an errand, and then we came home and walked in the house.
I smelled shit on my floor.
Yes, she smelled shit. She's not kidding on that either. She said,
first thing I said, "Do you smell that?" And he says, "Smell
and
what?"
I said, nope. What are you talking about?
Yep. And I said, "It smells like one of the dogs crapped on the floor."
And I said, well, I don't smell that.
I looked for it anyway because I could smell it. It was all around me. I could smell crap. So I searched and I searched.
And I helped her look for it. We looked behind the couch where we're sitting.
I look upstairs.
All around the floors. We looked upstairs, underneath all of her pool table, everywhere. And you know what we found?
Nothing.
We found jack shit.
No, we didn't. We found no shit at all.
We sat on the couch and we were watching the Glue Tube for a little bit on a couple of shows, and she kept smelling shit all night long.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I don't smell anything. And then I think it was probably around 11, maybe 11:30. I was tired. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm calling no joy. I'm going to bed. I got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. So I went upstairs. All three dogs, and we have all three dogs, followed me up the stairs. And she, to the minute I was walking up the stairs, was complaining about smelling shit. But I did not smell it. So I went upstairs. I went to bed. At some point she come up behind me and had gone to bed. Dogs were all up in the room with me before she came up. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get ready for work, come downstairs, get my stuff. Out the front door I go. Now I had to come down our stairs. I had to come through our living room. We got a little bird right here, right there. And I had to get the bird some food and some water. So I did that. And then walked out our front door. No big deal, and I went to work. Then, a few hours later, maybe 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, I got a text message from my wife.
Yeah. When I got up, I grabbed a load of laundry, started to walk it down the stairs, and as I looked over the edge, I saw dog crap on my floor. And
on the stairs?
No, it was only 2 piles. One was right here, and one was right here.
Oh, I thought you... Oh, no, you were on the stairs.
I was on the stairs.
Okay.
So I saw 2 piles downstairs as I was looking down. And I was furious. Went down to clean it up, and it was old. Like, it was there all night. It was old crap. So I contact him saying, how is it that you could just step over dog crap and not clean it up and leave it for me? Because that was just kind of wrong.
Which that would be a really big asshole move.
Yes, it would have been. So I was shocked because normally he wouldn't do anything like that. So he said there wasn't anything there when he got up. He would have seen it, or he would have stepped in it. He would have cleaned it up. And then my oldest son leaves a little bit before he does, and he didn't see anything either.
Mind you, where this one pile was at over here on the ground,
step in it.
I would have had to have either stepped over it or stepped into it. And there was another pile over here that I would have seen and or stepped in it because of the way I have to go get all my stuff in the morning before I go out the door.
Right.
So, woohoo, poop manifestation. Exciting. However, this is just the newest thing in the longest realm of crazy, weird Mandela type stuff with this dog.
Yeah.
He has for years, and I couldn't even tell you how many years we're going back on this scenario, but for years, two real major things have gone on that were weird. One, you've seen videos of other people with their dogs where they're laughing and teasing their dog because it's just sitting in the hallway, not moving, and they're talking to it and they're trying to get it to go and it's just not sitting there, it's not sitting there, it's not sitting there, and then all of a sudden the dog starts moving. This happens to him all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, it just happened the other day. I think it was even after he had crapped on the floor, or, well, we assumed it was him, but after the crap appeared on our floor, he was up in the bedroom. Ruth Ann came out of the room. The other two dogs had followed her out of the room, and he just stood there, and he just staring at the door. Mm-hmm. And when he stares, it literally looks like he's a mannequin. Like, he doesn't move. You don't even see him breathing. He's just frozen. It's as if his spirit, his conscious, left the vessel to go somewhere, but his vessel was still there. And it was just like, thinking of like Star Trek, right? Teleporting out of there. Like, whoop, the ship is still there, but all of a sudden now there's no one left in it. So it's just sitting there. It's the weirdest ass thing to see. And he's done that again. And when he did it the other day, I'm sitting there yelling at him and I'm talking at him. And not like yelling at him, but like yelling to him, trying to get him to maneuver or talk or anything or come here. I'm talking to him over and over again. And I'm 3 feet from the dog. He didn't move. And then all of a sudden, like about a minute and a half later, he just like as if he just snapped right out of it. Now, I wouldn't think anything about it because people zone out. We've all zoned out before, but he wasn't even breathing. And this has happened many, many times. Yeah. That's weirdo thing number one. Or now number two. The other weird thing that happens all the time is when we go upstairs to go to bed, all three dogs always follow us. If they don't, we always look around for them to make sure that no one's left outside the room, and we'll holler and shout for them to come upstairs, which they will. They will come up right away. Every now and again, our dogs will crash out in different spots on the floor down here, but the second usually we go upstairs, they're like right along behind us. Several occasions, all the dogs are in the room. She has to step over Zeus and our middle dog Athena to go to bed because they sleep on the floor on her side of the bed. And several times we'll be laying in bed, and maybe half an hour, we'll hear scratching. It sounds like literally like a little mouse paw or something clawing it, trying to claw into wires or something, but it sounds like it's at our door. Yeah. And the first time it ever happened with him, we didn't know what the hell was going on. We thought something got in our house. I mean, quite honestly, I thought maybe a squirrel. I didn't know. Man, I thought even I had a mouse or something like that. I didn't know what the hell. I didn't know what the hell we had.
I knew it was a dog.
Yeah, but the dogs were all in the room the very first time.
Yeah, that's what made no sense.
So when I got up to go answer the door...
Actually, I thought that it was maybe one of Xander's rabbits who got loose at first, and I was like, because the dog...
Yeah, but here. The first time that ever happened was long before we ever got rabbits. He'd been teleporting outside of the... And I'm just going to say it straight up. His ass is teleporting outside of our bedroom.
Yeah, but he does it more recently. He's doing it a lot more
Now
often.
He's doing it a lot more often, for sure. Absolutely. It's so... Yeah. It is so weird. Now... That's the weirdo number two thing with him, right? The one was him freezing. Number two, it was him just teleporting out of rooms or into rooms. I mean, he's done it before where it's been reversed, where he's teleported into our bedroom when we were trying to find him around. We're like, how did he get up here?
When the dogs were all down here sleeping on the floor, and then all of a sudden you hear a scratch from your door from downstairs, and you're like looking around going, What's that? And then we always keep our bedroom door closed. Either it's closed when we're not in it, or it's closed when we are in it. We never leave it open for the dogs to go in the room when we're not there. It prevents our middle dog from jumping in the bed and trying to sleep in it.
And our youngest one.
Yeah.
And hair everywhere.
They will jump up in the bed otherwise. So being downstairs, seeing the dogs, and all of a sudden you hear a scratch, and the dog trying to get out of the room.
Now, mind you, when and it's only been our puggle that's done that, and he's 12 years old.
Yeah.
We do not see him disappear and reappear.
No.
It's not like we even see a flash or like anything happens. It's literally like you might see him out of the corner of your eye, and then you're doing something, and all of a sudden you hear scratch, scratch, scratch. And the only time it ever happens that I'm aware of with him is when he's asleep, or seems to be asleep, laying down, curled up, eyes open, eyes closed. But it's usually when he lays down to go to sleep. And when he goes up to bed, a lot of times he snores like really, really badly too. So there's times when you'd be snoring, and then all of a sudden he stops snoring, and you just don't think anything about it. You just think he stopped snoring. Then all of a sudden you hear clawing at the damn door. So I don't even know from his perspective how much that probably maybe freaks him out. That shit, I was just laying here in my little bed, and now I'm outside of the door. What the hell's going on? I mean, he don't talk, and we never even really thought about that.
I'll look at it from his perspective now.
Now, weirdo thing number 3 with this dog, and I'm going to let her explain the whole scenario for this one, because he's done it twice now. And the first time it really, really freaked her out. The second time it kind of freaked her out, but since it already happened once, she was like, well, let's just ride this thing out. And now I will turn it over to her to explain it to you.
Yeah, we had a discussion to the vet with what it happening to, trying to figure it out. But he died on me twice. He the first time he just got through eating, comes wandering into the living room with me and my youngest, and we're sitting there talking. And as he's walking, he stops, he freezes, and then he just falls over. And when he fell over, the thing he just ate came out of his mouth, and the other dogs were trying to eat it. He's not moving, he's not twitching, he's not like he's having a seizure or not anything like that. He's not even breathing. And trying to get the other dogs away, and my son is like upset, want to know what's going on with the dog, and I'm like, I think the dog just died. I need you to go get my phone so I can call Dad and let him know that Zeus just passed away. So he goes, and he's panicking, but he goes and grabs me my phone, and I go to get ready to call, and all of a sudden Zeus pops up and starts walking around like nothing happened. And I'm just stunned, my son's stunned, and he's like, I thought he died. And I said, well, he looked like he died. He looked like he stopped breathing. He wasn't breathing for a while, but he wasn't functioning. He wasn't responding. Like I said, he didn't look like his eyes were moving or anything was moving on him. He was just laying there. So I just said, okay, well, maybe he had a stroke or something. I don't know, but he seems to be fine. And then a few months later, it happens again. This happened twice happened within a 5-month period. So a few months later, it happened again. And yeah, at that time, he wasn't eating or anything. He just froze up, fell over, and stopped breathing. This time I checked him. I was checking him to make sure that, he wasn't breathing, or I could try to feel for a heartbeat. I felt nothing. He wasn't responding to flinching, skin like just jerking or anything for me to even. He looked like a dead dog. He was not moving. And then all of a sudden he gets up and starts walking around again. And this is a good amount of time of him not breathing. It's not like I know how to do CPR on a dog, so I'm just like sitting there waiting it out to see if he's not going to move, So I'm thinking he's going to die any day now because he's 12, but he's a puggle, and we don't really know how long these dogs really live with the mixed breed.
12 to 15 years, what it says online.
But that's just an estimate guess because he was like one of the first when we first got him. They just started coming out with the puggles.
So what's crazy about that is she was saying in the beginning of it, she had told that to the vet on Wednesday. Last week, and when she first told the vet that, the vet's kind of like, well, that's like really odd, but it sounds like he may have had a stroke. Thing is, we've had friends who've had dogs that had stroke, and she explained that story to our friends a while ago too, and they were saying, yeah, well, when that happened with their dog,
she said her dog has a enlarged heart and the heart stops.
Well, no, I wasn't talking about Kim though. I was talking about Rob and them.
Oh.
Remember they mentioned they had a dog who had a stroke, and after their
Yeah.
dog had the same type of thing happened to their dog, or seemingly happened to their dog. But they said when the dog came to, that it started walking, and it kept walking face first into a wall over and over and over again, like it was a broken damn dial. Like just bang, bang, bang. And then they said after that the dog was never right again. It was like it had brain damage. But this guy here, Zeus, he acts even to date like nothing ever happened. Like this was just usual, you know. And the thing that's odd about it is what she's explaining with him dying is almost exactly the same thing as when he freezes. Only difference is when she saw it happen, he bloop, falls over.
He lost his balance from freezing, I guess, and just fell over.
And I'm guessing that maybe it was the way when it happened with her. Maybe it was the way his feet were when that happened, and he just toppled over. I don't know. I've never seen him topple over. The only time I've ever seen him freeze, though, it is freaky. I mean, he's just standing there like he's mid walking.
Yep.
But all four paws are on the ground, but he's just like mid walking, and he just boop, turns into a statue.
Yep.
And doesn't respond to any stimulus whatsoever.
You can smack something against the table really loud, make a bang sound. No jerking, no reaction. His ears don't move, his tail don't move. He's just frozen.
The only thing that I have not done when he's been like that is actually gone up and physically touched him.
No, I haven't touched him.
But yeah, no outside stimulus, and it's not like he's deaf. It ain't like he's blind. It ain't Yeah, he's up there in years, but in all essence, he's a perfectly healthy dog with no issues whatsoever.
You talk about food, he'll come running for it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is this little creature of ours. We're not sure what it is about him, and why he's the only one in our household that's affected this way. You know, the only story that we can even relate to it that's ever happened with us was, and I told you guys this in a couple of videos back, is that we were driving home one night late from the bar. And it was about, sometime after midnight, and we were driving south on one road, and then that dead ends, and you got to go left or right. And we were a mile away from the dead end, maybe not half a mile, about a half mile from the dead end. And in that area, there's a church on the left-hand side of the road, and then it's all dairy farm in front, but it dead ends into the dairy farm. And I looked at my radio, I looked up, and as soon as I looked up, it was like I had this weird feeling about me, because I didn't recognize my surroundings for a minute. It was totally weird and threw me off. And then I was like, what is going on? And then I turned and looked at her, because I was kind of freaked out about the whole thing. And she was sitting there looking at me, and I was like, did something weird just happen? And she's like, well, yeah, but I didn't want to say nothing. And I'm like, where are we at? And she's like, I don't know, because we were just going south on that road. I was like, and I looked down at the clock when I had that weird feeling of where the hell am I at? And the clock hadn't even moved a minute. It was 12:04 or 12:03 or something like that, and it still was the same exact time as when I looked up. So it was hyper weird. And again, the surroundings, it's not like we were out on a country road and it's so pitch dark you can't see anything. Right. There's streetlights around, and the views from going south on the one road to going east on the other road, which is where we were at, it's two totally different dynamics. And we're talking almost a 3-mile difference in distance, like an instant teleportation. So we haven't had it happen that I can think of since, that I'm consciously aware of. But it's kind of relates to, him teleporting outside of the bedroom all the time. And that was the only time that ever happened to us, and that was a couple of years ago now?
I didn't think it was that long ago.
Well, it was last summer then, so maybe a year ago. So, anyways, a lot of that weird stuff was going on when CERN was active. But this whole thing with the dog crap on the floor, her smelling it the whole night before, yet us not seeing it anywhere around. Then all of a sudden the next morning, I've gone up and I got into work and it's nowhere around. And then she gets up in the morning to get ready to let the dogs out. Now the dogs it's not like they went out of the room, went downstairs, and then she just didn't see it. Literally, when she walked out, Zeus always follows behind us. He never ever runs in front of us. So he was behind her the whole time. And yet she saw that crap on the ground before any one of the 3 dogs had gotten to the bottom of the stairwell, which is ultra weird. You know, of all things that could have manifested, you know, $1 million, keys to a Lamborghini, house in Beverly Hills, we get dog shit. How is that for universal humor, you know?
Yeah, well, we were talking about dog shit, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's like the jumping is my thoughts on it. I don't think we're like jumping through time. I think we're jumping through realities.
Correct, yeah.
Our other selves are just a little bit before they were in just a different spot than we were. Maybe that's what's happening with him.
Mm-hmm.
Is when we close the door, he's in there with us, then all of a sudden we're pushed to a different time to where he's actually on the opposite side of that door.
Different reality.
Yes, we're pushed to a different...
You said time.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I'm just clarifying it for these fine folks here.
We're pushed to a different reality to where he's actually still on the other side of the door. And he didn't come into the room.
Yep. So, crazy weirdness. On another note, I had sent you a video. The NECS Inc.
Oh.
I want to bring that up in this video because the CEO of a software company put out a video, and the video he put out was back in June 3rd, but I found it through, I think Vanessa VA had posted it, and I think Moneybags found the video first, which is where she got it from. Anyways, this guy is he owns a software company that he's had for, I don't know, 20 some odd years. One of their proprietary softwares that they do is for companies that do food distribution, produce, General Mills foods and things like that. Well, apparently they've been having a lot of problems with their clients complaining that they're having bust in the software because of it's not tracking inventory and throughput and things properly. Well, he's apparently spent a lot of time with his own staff trying to troubleshoot these issues and go on to where he had to finally break down and accept that the reason why the inventory seems all screwed up is because of name changes. And people are trying to search for the things and can't find it because, you know, guess what? Stouffer's has never made stovetop stuffing. And that's an example. And this guy goes on in his video and he talks about the Mandela Effect. Now, it's NECS Entree software is the YouTube page that he has. And they only post the video like once every maybe 6 months or a year. But he did this video and it's professionally done and professionally edited as if it was almost like a, done to be like an information video for his customers. Now, he didn't post it out there on YouTube to our Mandela community. He didn't post it for any of us to try to get on track with his thing. This video is so hardly addressed to his clients. Now, he does mention in the video that, you know, it's free to reuse the video and it's free to pass it on, but he talks about that the whole point of this, that he's not trying to back out, but that his software is not dysfunctional, the software is not an issue, confabulation ain't going on, misremembering ain't going on, and that people need to be seriously looking into the Mandela Effect and how that relates to quantum computing and quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement. He brings up D-Wave computers in his video and talks about several Mandela effects that have gone on, most specifically with like Haas, which is now Haas avocado, right? But it used to be H-A-A-S and now it's H-A-S-S. He brought up the Stouffer's food now being, you know, Kraft, and it's never been Stouffer's, things like that. So this guy is legitimate. Ironically, when I saw that video today, I reached out to him. I sent him an email. And he responded back to me. So him and I are planning to have a Skype communication, hopefully sometime this week if we can make things work, so that we can talk about stuff. I mean, this guy, that's, you know, I've been putting out videos for over a year now, probably a year and a half now maybe. And I put myself out there. And I put us out there, you know, because I put my name out. I don't hide my name from anybody. I obviously don't hide our faces, and I put it out into the world. but I'm also not the CEO of a company and putting my name of my company out there and at risk. And I really tip my hat to this guy for doing that. He mentions in the video that he's pretty sure he is the first software company to bring the Mandela Effect up and to admit to it being a real phenomena, that we don't know why it's happening or how it's happening, but that is the reason why issues are coming up, with it, specifically with his software and with his customers. So if you guys get the chance to check out his videos, I posted one on my YouTube channel as a recommended video. So hopefully you guys see it. It's pretty crazy, and I'm pretty sure he's the first company that I've heard of openly talking about the Mandela Effect and as it relates to their business. So there'll be more on that to follow up with. Also, you know, I'm trying to bring my wife into more of the Mandela Effect videos, some things that we could talk about. So as she discovers new things, and or, you know, we have something together that we can talk about, or even I might just run a video and she could sit in the background and put in her 2 cents when she wants to. We'll be doing some more videos together. So, and I'll do a follow up too. Hopefully I'm going to try to figure out how to record the Skype. Obviously, I'm going to check with Chris first, who's the CEO and founder of that NECS company, to make sure he's okay with me recording it. But if I can, that'd be awesome, and it'll be an awesome video for me to be able to post on my YouTube channel. So, anyways, until the next time, you know, keep your eyes on a swivel and pay attention to your surroundings as always. And thank you for watching my video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share my videos. As always, they're free use. Just don't chop them up and spread them out, but they're free to use otherwise. So until the next time, I'm Scott Schaefer. It's my wife Ruth Ann, and thank you for watching The Theory of Nothing.